office. And as the Mbunge, we responded to the letter that we have employed all officers, because actually as per now, the Mbunge does not expect to employ any other new officer in the office of the governor, because we have done it exhaustively.
Yes.
However, there are employees that we underemployed and terminated their services on fraudulent documentations. And among them was the secretary to the deputy governor. So when you wrote that letter to the Mbunge, we responded that we have facilitated both the office of the governor, which the office of the deputy governor is under, and we have, for as much as the Mbunge was concerned, all officers were in place, because
Four officers,
all officers, except, however, what we noted as the Mbunge is that immediately we recruited, we realized that there are some officers who had fake documents, and among them was the secretary to the deputy governor. So we responded back that all officers are in office, except the secretary who did not have genuine papers. So for the same, you can forward a name for the position to be filled, which he has done the day before yesterday. The Mbunge is in receipt of that request. And then we also advised that under circumstances that maybe officers could have been deployed, because it is not the responsibility of the Mbunge to deploy, the deputy governor could consult the office of the county secretary, who does that.
Okay.
Yes.
So are you aware of any, who are supposed to be the officers under the office of the deputy governor? Or how many positions are there allocated for the office of the deputy governor?
We are aware of the personal
the allocations. Are they 2, 4,
the document
6?
that we use, which is the transition authority,
Yes.
doesn't really somehow mention the numbers. However, we are aware of those officers that an officer cannot work without. But the document, which is like a driver, a personal assistant, a secretary.
At least that is the bare minimum.
Yeah, they are the like the subordinate staff.
Okay. Maybe we can now narrow ourselves to 2 officers in question. But maybe for the secretary, you realized after you have recruited that he or she has fake papers after recruitment.
We communicated.
After?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because actually as Mbunge, what we does is when we interview, and maybe for those that are direct appointments, immediately when we appoint is when we request for some documents. As you realize, most of our candidates are online. So when someone fills details online, we do not have a hand copy to verify. So when they pick the appointment letters, we almost immediately do the diligence to check whether the documents are genuine. They were like a number, like 7 or 8 in number. However, only one was attached to the office of the deputy governor.
Only one?
Yeah.
Approximately, maybe you have not carried all the details, yeah. But approximately how many officers are there in the office of the governor?
So almost, including the cleaners, the information officers, there are quite a number of categories, but the cleaners are the largest number. It is close to maybe 100, all officers.
How many?
About 100, but I can confirm
100.
Because if I'm given time, the records are there.
Okay.
They are actually ready.
So about 100?
Approximately.
Approximately. And at least 4 or 5 to the office of the deputy governor who are attached there. Okay. In your search, or maybe as you are producing, were there any other officers who are found with fake documents?
Yes.
Apart from the secretary to the deputy governor?
Yes, and we did the same. Actually, when we realized, we lied to the officers to revoke their appointments and to serve the chief of staff with a copy of the letter and the concerned officer, and then the payroll to remove them from the payroll. But there is communication in those all offices.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sasa Mheshimiwa Mbunge, you seem to have something.
The procedure in recruiting the officers under the office of the governor, because it's like, are they competitively recruited or they are just appointees of the governor?
There are some that are competitive and others that are direct appointments. As per that document, the transition authority, which guides us. Like our PA is not competitive. The same case to information officers. There are those that are competitive, others are not.
They are appointed.
Yeah.
Is there a minimum qualification?
Yes, the document states. Yeah.
It states?
The minimum qualifications. And we have schemes of service for where does and diploma start, where does and degree start.
Mheshimiwa Morris?
Of indirect appointments, and I've had like the secretary who was dismissed. You realized later because she was hired, then maybe later on she brought her papers. According to the HR, what should come first? Is it the document first or hiring first? Can you explain more to us?
As practice, what we have been doing we have been appointing. And if you can remember, it is an exercise that the MBUNDI just felt that it was necessary to do. Previously, it was even not done. Verification of documents comes later.
It's a process. It's not something you can just verify by looking at the books. You have to go to the issuing institution and they confirm that that paper is actually genuine. So really the lagging time is during the verification process. Even someone has to write to Nairobi or Mombasa, wherever that person went to school. And you know even in the whole civil service, there is always a cry about fake paper. So as I'm going to do the demand to ourselves that when we hire, as people, once they're hired, but we are doing people, the papers we presented to us are actually taken. So it can take even a month. It can take a month to verify a single paper. For example, the NEC papers, they take the longest. And they are costly also. They charge per verification. The other institutions that don't, like University of Nairobi, don't charge, and they are faster. So that process, we realize if we mix it with the hiring, then we will be holding a lot of services not being offered. Since we have all the time to the employees with us, we can verify the papers and then decide the fate. If it's okay, anaendelea na kazi. Kama yuko sawa, sasa hiyo ni kutoa tu.
Yeah, maybe Madam Chair, I can also say something. If you see the document you gave us was not very specific. Otherwise, we would have carried all the documents. For example, for this particular officer, whom you are making inquiries about, she brought her documents, like Mheshimiwa is asking which comes first. So you must come with your documents. You know, we are not the other agencies who deal with fake documents and the rest. When we see your document, you might not know whether it is fake or not. So immediately we appoint. We will now send somebody to go and verify. This particular PA was a student of Mount Kenya University. So when we checked, she had presented a degree certificate. When we checked, she was a continuing student, meaning she had not graduated. It is that basic. The degree was fake. So we acted.
Thank you so much. I think that secretary was done. And by the way, we are going to try to get information generally. Who is the appointing authority in the staff in the office of the governor? Who is the appointing authority? Who appoints? Who signs the appointment letters?
It is us as the Mbunge.
Okay, thank you so much. Do you, at any particular point, delegate that to anybody else?
Sometimes we do, but like we conduct interviews and we appoint certain officers.
Yes.
There are times that we give, but that delegation is also through a letter. That
The
we have
delegation is
appointed
through a
this and this person, you can issue appointment letters. It must be accompanied by authority to do so, because at the end of the day, the responsibility lies with the Mbunge.
Okay. So who do you, in your schedule, who do you delegate that authority to usually?
Previously, we have done it to chief of staff, even chief officers.
Chief of staff
Yeah,
can sign
with our authority.
with your authority,
Yeah.
a written authority.
Yeah.
Okay. Mheshimiwa DMK.
The first question is, does the county government refer to any human resource manual in making decisions of promotion, demotion, and dismissal of staff? Is there a human resource manual that you use or that is used in this county?
Chair, I think I can answer that one. Sorry. Currently, we are doing the manual, but as it is, we use the one from the Public Service Commission, which is we can adopt as we implement, as we do ours. Thank you.
So you have confirmed that you are using the HR manual of 2013, right? Can I say that?
We're using the Public Service Commission. I don't know when it was.
Because there are two. There is one that is for 2013 that is indicated human resource manual for counties 2013. Then there's another one that they did for the national government in 2016. Which one are you using?
There's what? I think you're talking about transitional authority.
Yes, human resource manual.
Transitional authority.
Yes.
Yeah, that is it's overtaken by one latest.
The latest.
Yeah.
So the transitional authority manual is what has been used before the 2016 one. Okay. So, but before the counties have been using the transitional authority manual, right? Yes. All right. So my last question to the secretary of the recently there have been appointments in the office of the governor, because these are issues to do around the office of the governor. The chief of staff is a chief officer in the office of the governor. Right now there is an acting chief officer in the office of the governor. Now, who is the AIE holder now between these two? Because there is a duplication. There is the chief officer, office of the governor, and there is the chief of staff. Is this something that is in your knowledge, that a department can have two chief officers?
We had a request from county secretary for creation of office of a chief officer in the office of the governor. And we set out our conditions of doing so, which the process is still ongoing. And finally, if we approve, then it will come to the assembly for approval. So as far as acting people are concerned, we are not aware of that.
In any case, it's a competitive process.
Competitive, yeah.
Why
It's a chief officer.
in the appointment of the current acting chief officers?
No.
Were you supposed to be involved?
So procedurally, yes.
You were never consulted,
No.
but you were supposed to be consulted.
Creation of the position we were proposing.
We are talking about creating. No, creating is a process.
But
Last year,
Yeah.
in October,
Mm.
around 10 chief officers positions were advertised, which you did as a board.
Yes.
And you hired them competitive.
Right now, the number is short to 18. Were you consulted in the 8 that were increased?
Well, as much as it's not the part of this document, we were not consulted about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, can the governor give you a list? Decide that I want to hire A, B, C, D people, just regularize it. And advertise, but you know I have told you it's these people, shortlist them in the shortlist and make sure they're the ones who be hired. Can the governor do that?
Of course not.
She cannot do that.
No.
She cannot include people and give you regularize.
No.
It has never happened.
It has never happened.
Yeah.
And it
So
should not
just be competitively recruited.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Just the issue of delegation of the appointing of who signs. Any law that allows you to delegate, we have a law that allows you to delegate the powers to appoint.
Madam Chair, there is the tool of delegation.
There is?
A tool of delegation, which is recognized in law. It's a HR practice. So what happens, like now when we talk about the chief of staff, it's not only the chief of staff, even the chief officers in other departments. We do delegate, and they sign the letters of appointment.
So far, you delegated to anyone, and can we have a confirmation of that authority?
You see, Madam Chair, that's an ambush. We
Not
came to
now.
answer,
Not necessarily.
yes.
Maybe later.
Yes, later we can. Later we can. But now you see, you are introducing new things that were not in your queries. So given time, we will be able to furnish this committee with the relevant documentations.
We shall write and we are hoping that is a delegation or a previous delegation, it's maybe from the time the office was constituted or something like that. Any member with something that wants to ask? Mheshimiwa Idili?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I might ask something which has been asked, but you bear with me. Madam Chair, I want to ask the CEO about the secretary for the DG. The secretary was dismissed, and maybe, I don't know the reason. It could be maybe she wasn't qualified for the job, but maybe you tell us why she was dismissed, and maybe you tell us the reason why she has not been replaced for the long time, that the secretary for the DG has not been replaced. Then maybe you tell us whether there are some other officers in the office of the governor which end fraudulent documents or who are not qualified for the job when you are doing the scrutinization of those documents. And maybe you tell us about the PA to the governor, whether you scrutinize her documents, if she was qualified for the job. If she was qualified, then you can give us a document, or you can bring the document to this committee, or you promise us how we shall get to know whether she was qualified for the job. I think those are the questions that I would like to hear from you.
Yes.
Thank you so much about the question. The secretary will respond. She's the one who knows and yes, she will delegate to someone else to respond.
Sorry. I got you came as a team.
Yeah, you give us
Would
that.
have taken that one.
Maybe the secretary can respond.
Thank you, Honorable Iviri. On the Secretary to the Deputy Governor and fraudulent documents alongside others like 7. Most of them are those that we have recently advertised to replace. The exercise that has been going on for the last 2 weeks. So the Secretary to the Governor was not just an exception, but among others who did not have genuine papers. So,
Those are officers from the same office.
the governors, yeah.
Sorry, and the office of the governor divided the place for that.
We had, most of them were competitive. For the secretary to the deputy governor was not competitive, but you see, for us, we must receive a request. When we terminated services, we communicated that we have terminated services for this person on fraudulent documents. For us, we cannot proceed to replace without a request to do so. That request was received the day before yesterday.
The request from the office of the deputy governor.
Yeah.
But in the office of the governor, you did a replacement.
I think previously when environment maybe was good within those two offices, the request usually came from the office of the chief of staff. From
And
both
the same chief of staff didn't request for the replacement in the office of DG.
the request has never come.
He requested only for the office of the governor and left the office of the deputy governor.
What had happened previously, there is another request that we rejected because there was a request that the officer still did not meet the minimum qualifications, and we responded back that appoint found another name. This particular one doesn't qualify.
That was a replacement to which office? The deputy or the office of the governor?
From the documents, because it was previously, the request has been like one. Even when we employ there was not that much difference between the office of the governor and of the office of the deputy governor.
Because, Madam Chair, I understand it is only the office of the deputy governor which wasn't replaced, but in the office of the governor, the replacement was done.
Not really. Those we have replaced, we issued even letters for the rest yesterday. That advertisement that we recently did was to replace those that had fake documents, and we issued appointment letters yesterday.
And then, how about the document? Did you scrutinize the document for the PA to the governor?
We did.
Is she qualified for the job?
It was a he. He was, and we employed.
Because, yeah, he's in office.
He's in office.
Because
the PA
to the governor.
The PA is in office.
So
we issued an appointment letter, and we have never revoked his appointment.
The PA to the governor?
We are not aware.
The PA?
We assume yes, because we appointed, we gave him an appointment letter, we communicated. When we appoint, we also inform the salaries that we have appointed this and that person, and we have never given instructions otherwise. Yeah.
So,
yes.
No, it is not he, it is she, the PA to the governor. No, I'm talking about the PA to the governor. I'm asking because they did the scrutinization of those documents in the office of the governor. That is the staff for the governor and the deputy governor. So my question is whether the PA to the governor is qualified for the job. Because when others were dismissed, she wasn't dismissed. So that's why I'm asking whether she is qualified for the job. And the CEO is saying she is. So, Madam Chair, I would like to request that we get the degree certificate for the PA for the governor.
I think that's a good
Kindly, through the chair, maybe you can allow my colleagues to respond, because when the PA to the governor was recruited, I was not in office. They couldn't be having more information than I have.
Maybe to respond to what Mheshimiwa is asking for, it need not necessarily be a degree certificate. If it is the qualification, if it's a diploma or a degree, we are going to provide, because we have those documents. But as far as we are concerned, she is qualified for the position.
And what are the parameters? What is the minimum issue? You see others were qualified. What is the minimum qualification for
You know, you're asking for those specifics without giving us a notice that come with the requirements for appointment of this position. We don't keep those things on our fingertips. What I would say, before they were appointed, and if I can remember correctly, the PA to the governor asked a diploma. I don't know a diploma in what. So as far as we are concerned, she qualifies for that position. What maybe we can provide Mheshimiwa with is the requirements for that position and what we relied on to employ the PA.
It's on the same note. Me, I have a different question altogether. Sorry for coming late. My name is Agnes Karemi Gwantai, nominated by Bas Party and a friend to this committee. I have two questions. I want the board to shed light on this. I want to know whether the county secretary has powers to send people on permanent leave. Case Sunday, the chief officer, George Kimathi. The second question is, you've told us that you are not aware of the 18 acting, you are not aware of the 18 acting, you are not the 8, you are not aware of the 8 chief officers, acting chief officers. What action have you taken as a board?
I found that there were some staff who were dismissed because their papers were not, they were forged. These officers were drawing money from county government of Meru, which is the sources of Meru people. What action have you taken since the dismissal of those staffs?
Yeah, you asked what action had been taken about those officers who had fake certificates. What we did, the moment we discovered the fake certificates, we wrote to our legal department. First of all, the salaries were stopped. We wrote to our legal department so that now they can refer the matter to the other agencies, including the police, so that these officers can be taken to court because of giving us false information and getting employed using fake certificates. So as far as we are concerned, we can provide that documentation to the legal department for action. Because we were also saying they ought to be surcharged for the salaries and for the period they served.
My question is on, I don't need the mic, I'm loud enough. May I see if I use the mic? It's, oh, for the purposes. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Chair. My question is, one, somebody has just told us before you came here that the county government of Meru, or the county government of Meru does not have a human resource policy that guides human resource management. And the Meru County Public Service Board is in the process of developing one. How far are you in developing the human resource policy? And number two, I have previously served in the county government for the last 10 years since devolution. And I was also I was also a secretary to the Departmental Human Resource Committee that you know what it does as the County Public Service Board. And we have been using the Human Resource Manual for 2016 that guides human resource management. And somebody has disputed and told us that is not used in Meru County. It is only used in the national government. So maybe you can shed light on this so that this committee can understand whether I'm also not talking the truth, or what is the policy that you are uses in human resource management. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. I think I will first respond to one of the acting chief officers. The question that you have just asked. We have been in another committee this morning, and the board and given an advisory to the office of the county secretary, and as per law, it is the role of the public service board to appoint the people on either acting capacity or otherwise. However, the document we have submitted to that other committee, and when this was done, we also had a consultative meeting with the county secretary, and the chairman categorically informed him of what is required if there are people to be appointed on acting capacity. On the HR policy manual, we are on stakeholders' involvement. Actually, we were to do it last week, but the environment, because we were to include the sectoral committee for labor from this end, the chief officers, the CC members, it was not possible for us. However, it is at that stage, it is the stakeholders' involvement so that they can bring their inputs and incorporate in what we have developed. And I also wish to confirm that we are still using the 2016 because we haven't finalized with ours. Thank you.
Sorry, let me give sorry, before we mix up issues, kidogo Mheshimiwa Zipi, it's fine, it's fine. There is a question you've been asked by Honorable Agnes, Madam Secretary, about the role that you play on matters pertaining appointment. And my other question thereof is, are you still as a board, the people supposed to perhaps send people on what we call either terminal leave or give them compulsory leave? Is it the work of the county secretary or is it the work of the county public service board? Because on that specific question from Honorable Agnes, touches on someone that was sent on compulsory leave for indefinite time.
Well, Madam Chair, these officers are employees of the county public service board. We would expect if somebody does something wrong, there is a due process to be followed, and the board must be involved. If it is disciplinary, there are those departmental proceedings. Finally, they will end up with the board, and the board takes the final decision.
So on this particular matter of a chief officer that was sent on compulsory leave, was the board involved?
You know, Madam Chair, when you say an officer who was sent on compulsory leave, we don't know, because this is something which has not come through the board.
So, so the county secretary drew the directives, because that letter was even circulated all over. Was it so the board was not involved at all?
You know, Madam Chair, when you talk about a letter circulating, maybe through the media and everything else, we don't deal with such.
Yes.
Maybe unless that letter is copied to the board, then I can be able to respond.
Thank you very much. And then,
Clearly with the name,
yeah.
or all those details.
Yes.
Then we can respond. You see, now we don't even know who we are talking about.
We are talking about chief officer by the name Gideon Kimathi, George Kimathi.
Those are news to us.
George Kimathi.
Those are news.
Those are news to you.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
I want to give some directions now. I want to give some directions.
That's what I've said.
You see, there's a process from the department to here at level, and then finally it comes to us. we give our ruling. Because the person works with the departments or certain function. If you are working with that person, there is no any action being taken. So we will take all that, we will even interview the person. Be sure the action being taken is being done in the natural laws of justice.
And okay, fine. Now, let's go back to the issue of secretariat to the deputy governor. You realize that the secretary and fake papers, and since around March. Now, I've heard from the secretary saying they are doing perhaps I think recruitment for the staff in those offices, and I think the law allows them, give them the latitude to suggest names of people they would wish work in the offices in the names of the personal assistant and the secretary. You could guide me on the same, whether the law allows them to suggest names. Have you, because since March now, when you realized one of the secretary and fake papers, have you given him the opportunity to suggest someone you can employ as a secretary? And how has he been operating without one since March?
Maybe, Madam Chair, I can also answer that question. Once somebody's appointment is revoked, when an appointment is revoked, it is the user who is supposed to make a requisition for appointment, say, of that secretary. It is not until, I think, this week that the deputy governor did or made that request. And the board is acting on his request. So how he was operating is beyond us. We can't tell.
So he wrote a letter this week?
He did, yes.
This week?
Yes. And we have acted on it. Yes.
Are you sure he wrote a letter?
He did. We have evidence to that effect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The DG himself.
Okay. So thank you so much. Maybe you can tell us, to clarify whether the officers are usually paid through under the IPPD system or the manual payroll.
To be included in the payroll, and sometimes, like when it is towards maybe when it is towards the end of maybe they are about to close, they may not be able to pay that particular month through the system. However, that can be best answered by the respective department.
Thank you. Are you, as a board, are you aware or have you been able to receive any designation, let me just call them, any purported designation letters from two officers in the office of the DG, that is the PA and the driver?
I think
have you received any designation letters?
we haven't received any of them. However, for the driver, he went to Arroya and inquired them both to do investigations on his case because he had stated that he had not resigned. So that request came to us with a copy of the acceptance from the Chief of Staff in requesting us to do investigation. As the bond we requested for his file. We went through the file to check whether there was that copy of the letter that he resigned, that he gave to resign. We did not get a copy. We further wrote to the Chief of Staff requesting the same letter because it was the letter that he had written was referenced to the one that the officer had given. We wrote, we didn't get a response. When we did not get a response, we wrote to the Department of Legal to do now the other bit because for us we were not able to do further investigations. Yeah.
So after you have not received the letter, that is,
we forwarded the issue to our legal department
or to do the investigation.
through a letter to do the investigations.
Is the CCM legal aware of that?
The letter was funded to his department, so assumption is that he is aware.
He is aware. Are you aware that is the same case with the PA?
The PA we have no information about. Surely we think he's on, for us he's earning his salary. We haven't received any document apart from the appointment letter that we issued. Yeah.
So maybe we can be able to inform your board that the two officers in the office of the deputy governor, that is the driver and the driver and the personal assistants, have received some letters which they have been forwarded to this committee on oath, letters from the office of county, the chief of staff, alluding that they have that their office has received some resignation letters, and those two officers have said, they have sworn they never at this particular point wrote any resignation letters. And we are happy that you have also confirmed that when you asked for the file of the one officer, the driver, you did not get any letter, any confirmation letter, any resignation letter in his file. Because from where I sit, I know whenever you write any letter, a resignation letter, it is first put in your file. Thank you so much. So, have you received any letter from the chief of staff acknowledging this, any resignation from those two staffs? From the chief of staff?
We received for the driver.
You received from through the driver. Not
we were copied. We were
copied. You are copied.
Yeah.
The lawyer wrote to you.
Actually, even before the lawyer, the chief of staff forwarded a copy to us.
Oh, okay. That is for the
an
driver.
Acknowledgement.
Yeah.
An acknowledgement for resignation,
Yes.
not the resignation letter itself.
Acknowledgement.
Thank you.
The letter signed by the chief of staff.
Okay. That is for the driver only, not the PA.
Driver only.
Okay. Maybe I also want to inform you that the PA confirms that he has been working through the correspondences that he has been making, that he is working, and the last time that he was paid was in June. It is in June, and he also has a purported letter that, that he should have resigned. Are you able to submit a copy of the letter to the legal department that you wrote to them?
Yes, we have copy. We have.
You have a copy, and you can be able probably to share with us.
Yes.
This committee.
Yes.
We will gladly accept that. So, say something, Jim?
All documents mentioned in this session, we will maybe need them. All the documents involved, actually. For example, like you said that you had a meeting with the county secretary, and
I think through the chair, we only requested the list of those documents that you require to be easier for us.
Exactly. Actually, that's where I'm going, because we have our people here noting the conversation. I was talking about the correspondences with the county secretary, and also if there is anything. I don't know whether when you meet, you do minutes with, or what do we have to show that actually there was a meeting, such a meeting happened, and the transactions of the meeting. We may need that, and also just all the other letters, like the chair said. Those documents are very important. So actually, I wanted to bring this attention to you, Madam Chair, that any documents mentioned, we'll need those copies. Thank you. I'll ask a question maybe later. I'll ask now.
Was attached clean, was recruited to clean office of the DG and has been working since February. But I'm told the salary was stopped by the Chief of Staff. We would like to know whether you are, aware of that. Number two, the PA to the Deputy Governor was recruited around, if I saw the letter correctly, that has gone to Nini, was recruited end of January, but the rest of the members or staff to the governor were recruited way before then, and their salaries backdated around August 2022. Why was the same not done for the staff? Why weren't the salaries backdated as of those of the office of the governor? And then lastly, on this matter, I would like to know if someone resigns, do they hand over their resignation letters to the Chief of Staff, to the County Secretary, or to the County Public Service Board? Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think I will respond to some, and my colleagues will respond to others. Concerning the cleaner, unless we have so many cleaners, we are not able to know who cleans where. So kindly, if it can be, if it is possible, we would wish to know the name of the cleaner so that we can do our further, maybe we can give further information. But there is a particular one that was working in the office of the Deputy Governor, and her term, I don't know whether it is the same person you are referring, but that person was employed in the former government, and there are those officers when the term of the governor ends, theirs also end. As a result, we do not renew their contracts. So if it is that particular person, we could not have renewed because it was, once their letters stated that they are not renewed after the expiry of the term of the previous governor. Concerning the time that the PA to the Deputy Governor was recruited, that is when the MBUNDI received the request to employ the same. And from what my colleagues might confirm, we do not backdate because that is the time the MBUNDI is aware that this person is required, or those services are required, and that is when we receive the request. And there are minutes that we have appointed. We cannot have officers in the office when they have not gone through the due process, and we ratify what was done wrongly. So maybe my colleagues can confirm, but that is the status.
And then who recommends as to when somebody should be removed from the payroll? Is it the work of the Chief of Staff, or is it the work of the County Public Service Board as the people who issue appointment letters?
Just as we give instructions for officers to be included in the payroll, we are the same ones who give instructions for any reasons for a person to be removed from the payroll.
So by any chance, could you have given the authority for removal of the payroll from the payroll for one PA, Patrick Ngonga, and the driver? Paul?
We haven't, and we are not aware whether they are not in the payroll.
Oh, okay.
According to us, they are.
So maybe it is also good that you are informed that those two are not.
So, Madam Secretary, I hope kindly confirm if you have a letter, an acknowledge of resignation from Patrick Muroki Nkonga. Do you have that document?
With me, I have for Patrick, and Patrick, who is the PA,
Yes.
and Paul, who is the driver.
So we're handling that.
And just as you can, which one?
Patrick, the one.
As you can see down there, the letter is not copied to us.
I know. You just said you have not seen those letters. That's why we ran copy so that we can move from one end. And please confirm it bears the stamp. It bears the stamp of the Chief of Staff. I'm talking about the letter for Patrick Murokinkunga.
Yeah.
Yes, it bears the letter. I mean the stamp.
Yes.
For the Chief of Staff.
Yes.
Yes, but you said you received the one for Ikamati, who is the driver.
Yes.
You received an acknowledged letter for Paul Ikamati Kaumbudo, but you did not receive the one for Patrick Murokinkunga.
Yes, and from the two letters you can find that for Kikamati was copied to us, for Patrick was not.
Yes, I am aware of that. That is for a fact. I agree with you to that extent. So I just wanted you to bring to your attention that also the PA, because you said the PA, you never received that. And you can see even the stamps, they are the same. And when you look at the dates, they are both stamped is 22nd May 2023.
There is 19.
The one is 19?
There is 19.
But there are two. Remember, when you look at this, there are two stamps. One stamp is 19th May. The other stamp is 22nd May. So we would like you as a board to bring to your attention that also the personal assistant to the deputy governor purportedly resigned from office and without the attention of the public service board, so that when you do your deliberations as a board, perhaps you will have to seal the loopholes on why somebody is doing the work that is supposed to be done by the public service board. Why is even someone receiving letters of resignation when it is the public service board supposed to receive those resignation letters and do the facilitation for the people that have resigned from work? Because I am sure even when someone resigns, they must be facilitated to resign successfully. So we wanted to bring to your attention that is there is an imposter who is not a member of the public service board, and that imposter, gentlemen and ladies, and that imposter, gentlemen and lady, is doing your work, and also even forwarding one letter to you when the person who is supposed to resign was supposed to be told, now, gentlemen, the place to hand in your letter of resignation is to the person who gave you the appointment letter. So kindly note that as a board, and we hope that you will resolve it as a board. Because if you allow too many imposters to do the work, you'll be even taken to court or you'll be accused of not being effective. When I can see distinguished gentlemen and ladies who are doing, distinguished services to this county.
Thank you so much. Honorable Mubishi, that was a comment, not for your response. Honorable Mubishi.
Thank you very much. I think
given the fact that maybe you're saying that a channel department,
have seen that there are some, you are missing either some policies or something so that at least you can do your job effectively. So what I can advise the board and yourself to avoid those kind of imposes that the chair has said, you need to have policies put in place properly so that now in the future we can avoid those kind of confusion so that at least we can run this county effectively without interference from other quarters. Because if we continue with that kind of a trend, you can follow in a trend that you are not supposed to follow in a trend that will bring some confusion within maybe your employment and the way you are doing it as a board. Because I can see it's like you are trying to put things right, but you need also to make sure that your house is in order by having serious policies, HR, so that you can have it right. I think that might take.
Cited a few issues. So from the issues that have been cited, would you say that the powers of the board have been surpassed, or rather have been taken without your authority? Maybe let's have everybody.
Since we are talking of imposters, there are those who even call, telling, like when we release a short list for interviews, there are those who call candidates and tell them, I'm a member of the board.
Wow.
And I've decided to assist you, but come and see me first. And they solicit whatever they solicit, but we always put, when you are putting those things, those who are shortlisted, we tell them the only communication number is this one. But we get calls from the candidates telling us, we have received a call from this number, you know. So if somebody misinterprets their responsibilities and how they connect with other functions of the government, these things happen. They create their own can I call a kingdom, where they do their own things according to the rest of the government, but the rest of the function don't know. And all the functions of the government are interconnected. There is a system that is followed for any action that is taken. And therefore, what I would say is, as part of our responsibility, both us and the committee, it's our responsibility to ensure these things are actually ironed out, and it's good that the committee brought us such things. Some of them are news to us. And we don't supervise people directly where they work to know what they are writing, what they are not writing. So if they communicate with the employees and they shaft them and send them on leave, they should bear that responsibility. They should bear that responsibility, not to say that the board is not working. The board is working. It's those guys who should bear their responsibility through the normal channels. Yeah.
So, thank you so much. County Secretary, do you want to comment on the same? Your powers, do you feel the chair has spoken? Mheshimiwa Memi.
Allow me, Chair, to ask two questions, which may not even relate to what we have for today. Now that if one is appointed on an acting capacity, for how long or what period are you supposed to act? Number two, you are very candidate to us and the entire community, the Meru community, because all the eyes, especially on employment, are on you. There is some months back, there was an advert for the health workers. And I think there was some applications done. Then we are sitting with the governor as MCAs, and she told us that there is no budget. And actually it was not even a recruitment, it was like a replacement, which we thought already there is a budget allocation for the same. So we advised the governor to have the same advert cancelled, to advise you to do the cancelling of the same. Has that one been done? Because people are on our neck, they're asking when are they coming for the interviews? Is it still valid or is it invalid? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to ask one question. That is about the casual workers, some WANDA admin and subcontract admin, which I know, or I think some of their contracts have expired. I don't know if they have renewed. Are you going to renew? And how long are you going to take so that you can renew those contracts?
Through the chair, let's respond for those two. Yes. We can respond to these good questions. If we had forewarned or told we are going to discuss 1, 2, 3, 4, we would have brought a lot of information. So what we also are suggesting through the chair is that structurally, let all those requests come through you, through the chair, and the committee communicate to us, and we will respond to all of them. Even if you want us to come back here again, Kuthuja, so that we have factual information about everything.
Well, what the members asked is just something general.
But it's still ends being specific.
The chairman, public service.
Yeah.
The issue of how long is one supposed to act, I don't think you need.
That one is known.
Yes. Whether you cancel the advert or still is valid, you don't need to do any further consultation because it's going to be in your fingertips.
I was coming to that.
Okay.
The acting period is 6 months maximum. The reason to extend again is the board that should extend. Because there is even a cost involved in acting. There is acting allowance to be paid, and you can't go beyond 6 months. So it means that officer continues without renewal of the acting, they will not earn the allowance.
And Madam Chair, I don't know whether I'm also supposed to ask a question to my good friend. That, by the way, question. Have you obeyed the cancellation of the advert?
Maybe you could have done it internally without our
No.
Yeah, but have you won?
We speak to the applicants, and that can only be through the website.
So you don't know.
Unless it's from somewhere else, I don't know. Not us.
Even our website is there. Our website is still there. You can check whether you find any cancellation or status of the advert.
I think through the chair, I wish to answer one of your questions on the administrative contracts have not been renewed. We received the request for 4 of them. However, they are being recruited as officers in the former governor's office, a term that ends with the governor. For us as the MBUNDI, we don't renew such contracts. We communicated that these officers shouldn't have gone with the governor because they got deployed. But as per their files and their letters of appointment, they are either like officers in the office of the governor. Those positions that go with the term of the governor. That is the reason as to why those contracts have not been issued for the 4. However, for the majority of the cleaners that have not been renewed, we believe by Tuesday the process will have been complete.
we put ourselves a procedure that for renewal of contracts, an appraisal must be done for every employee to determine whether we are continuing this person or we are not continuing. Unfortunately, it took so long for the HR department to give that information, and we have to check every file and ensure that whoever we are renewing for is somebody who is doing the right job wherever they are doing, and the people who supervise them are happy with them. So, as he says, in the course of next week, those who have okay, they will get their contract renewed.
Before we can respond to the last, with a letter as the as that is a letter that we has come for us. It's also going to address yes. You can be producing it as Commissioner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My question to you, the County Secretary. I don't know that. Okay, I want to just ask, when you went for finding mission to identify the certificates of the secretary to the DG, did you take along others, or it was only one person?
Thank you.
And if so, okay, answer that first.
For us, we have done verification of documents for officers in the office of the governor. That is why we found like 7 or 8 did not have genuine papers. We did not cite one person to do the same.
And you sent all of them, you sent them home, all of them?
Yes, however,
the 7 of
sometimes we did not send the same day because some of them were employed on different dates. Any time that we realized that somebody did not have the papers were fraudulent is when we gave communication. But we gave for all of them, they were either 7 or 8, and we have also a report on all officers in that office. The reports that we got from those institutions, all the rest were okay except those.
I have another question. I don't know whether you can answer this one. If you're ready, you can answer. I would like to request the board to let us know the positions of those people that go with the governor after the governor terms expire. If the staff or the positions that go with the governor, the staff that goes with the governor, kindly, if you can.
I beg either, unless one of my colleagues answer, or my chairman.
I'm asking, I am requesting for the board to let me know the positions that go with the governor after the returned. Yes, kindly.
Well, that can be provided later, because particularly what we would call, according to the Transition Authority, personal staff. You get?
Yes.
The people that the governor appoints, and that we verify just that they qualify to do the job they want to be, that are required to be done. Those who automatically leave with
Which
one? The contract expires.
But you see, and I really have them in my head.
Oh.
That's why we were saying through the chair.
Yes.
And we've been given what you really want.
Yes.
All these things are in record. You would have read. Yeah. We will get.
Thank you.
It's a very,
And sorry for
it's a very,
That is okay. It's our.
Maybe on our last case, on our last case, still with the issue that we are having to issue the deputy governor. There is a letter that I'm sure was received by your office. You want to confirm that you received this letter?
Yes, and I think at some point I mentioned about this, that the NDG complained to us of the officers in his office.
Yes.
And we gave a response that we employed the officers that were required for the office of the governor and deputy governor. However, the only person that was directly in his office, like the person that we knew from the documents that we had verified, because we had also talked with him. Before we issued the letter, we actually informed him that his secretary did not have genuine papers. So we responded back this letter. We gave a response that the bond recruited and officers are in place except the secretary who had fraudulent documents. So, and we haven't received a request to replace the secretary. So I think based on the response that we gave is when we gave that request the day before yesterday to replace the secretary in the office. However, on the same letter, we also mentioned that under circumstances that maybe the officers were deployed, the deputy governor could consult with the office of the county secretary, which does the same. Because for us, we don't.
In writing?
Yes.
You did that in writing?
Yes.
And you asked him to consult the office of the
In case an officer has been removed from his office to another office, because it happens, deployments happen.
But in this case of the deputy governor, he did not mention, he was not complaining probably of redeployment, but of sacking of officers or withdrawing of officers from his office.
But as much as you are concerned, we never interview anyone as the bond.
Yes.
And the only person whom we knew was that secretary. That is why we mentioned only that particular person.
Okay. So now, maybe as a takeaway homes for this committee, you are confirming that you are not aware as a board of the resignation or the purported resignation or withdrawal of the driver and the personal assistant to the deputy governor.
As we have mentioned earlier, for the PA, the personal assistant, we are not aware. We are running this from this meeting. However, for the driver, we are aware because of that letter that was written.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Just I wanted you to confirm that you received this letter that was dated on August 30th, and you are able to reply to the same.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Members, I think we have come to the end of our deliberations, unless there's something that is very, very burning, and I can see from the show of our faces, nothing that is very burning. We want to really appreciate our board for finding time. I'm sure it has been a very busy day for you today, from the labor committee to our committee. Sure, maybe when you didn't have time to grab something to eat, maybe, and you are only able to give some water. We are sorry, but ni kazi kwa wananchi. So we are very much happy and humbled for the time that we have been able to spend.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and the honorable members. We are also very grateful for the opportunity, because we are here to serve to serve our community in our respective responsibilities and offices, and the board is actually there for the service to perform the functions that has been bestowed to us. We appreciate for the opportunity, and thank you so much. And in case of any other time you require us, we are ready to work together, because we are working for the benefit of the common wananchi.
Thank you so much. My secretariat will be able to write to you maybe by what time are we today? A few things that might be required. Maybe by the time you get to your office, you might require just a few things that might be required, that maybe by tomorrow we can be able to get them, since they are not complicated. And also, maybe as this committee, we shall request you to do some investigations on your own on the complaints that have been laid on our committee, so that you are able to investigate, especially the purported removal from the payroll, and wish from the county service board, so that you also are able to verify that the two officers are not in the payroll. So thank you so much, and God bless you so much. So having no other agenda for the committee, I think we will ask Mheshimiwa More to escort our friends out, and we'll be left to do some interview. Thank you so